Good evening. December 12th, 2014. I welcome you once again. Today's news in the cricket match, Australia kept itself in a very comfortable position. And tomorrow will be the last day. And maybe in the early hours, the Australia may declare the innings and India will be asked to bat to chase a massive total. So obviously, instead of trying for chasing the total, India may be trying for a draw. Otherwise, quick losing the wickets in the early sessions may lead to India's defeat. So we have to wait and watch. So what are going to be the tactics that will be applied by the new captain for India, that is Virat Kohli. And apart from this, so yesterday the incident happened again in New Delhi. Not just the cabs, but even the roads are also not safe. So this is the statement made by one woman in Indira Gandhi International Airport. So where she was being abused and she was being teased by a person, and later the police have arrested that man. And when it comes to this West Bengal, the Sharda scam, Madan Mitra, the minister, one of the ministers in Mamata Banerjee's cabinet, considered to be very close aide of Mamata Banerjee, has been arrested today. And Mamata Banerjee has challenged the government of India, saying that if you are not covered, you arrest me. Why are you arresting my people here? So, but anyways, so this particular game or scam related to the Sharda, it is nearing to the doorsteps of Mamata Banerjee. So we'll just wait and watch. Otherwise, so many people so far in this Sharda scam, some people have been questioned, some people have been investigated, some people have been summoned, and some people have been arrested. And the latest in this list is Madan Mitra, so one of the ministers in Mamata Banerjee's cabinet. And apart from this, so we have so many other stories. Let me open the document and we'll have a discussion on that particular one. Now, look at the document here. So this I kept as a new bird in the sky. So this is with respect to India's satellite. It is a GSAT 16 geosynchronous satellite. The first indigenously built INSAT was launched in the year 1992. INSAT stands for Indian National Satellite System. And it was launched in the year 1992. So that was indigenously developed by India. Later, so we have surged beyond and we started doing so many things even in this particular aspect. Look at this. So the latest one is the GSAT 16 is an Indian communication satellite and it was successfully launched. It was launched on December 7th, 2014. It was launched through Europe's Ariane 5 rocket. And the weight of this one is 3.2 tons. And the cost of this is 900 crores. Out of this, the foreign launch comes around rupees 560 crores. Meaning, because the weight is bigger, very large, at present, India does not have the capacity to launch this. But very soon, India is going to have its own launching system. That's the reason why in future, the cost of launching this INSATs will be reduced. It will be reduced by more than 50%. And India is working towards that. But at the same time, we cannot wait till the process is over. That's the reason why it was launched through Europe's Ariane 5 rocket. But otherwise, in future, kindly remember, for your analysis point of view, it is not going to be so big as of today, like 900 crores. Out of that one, the foreign launch itself is coming around 560 crores, meaning more than 60% expenditure will be reduced in the coming future. Look at this. Already India is under the process. If GSLV Mark III becomes operational, then the cost would be reduced by half. This is one important point, kindly remember. and it was built by ISRO. And you know what is ISRO? I told you so many times. And this GSAT 16 has 48 transponders. This is highest for any satellite system of India so far. And it becomes GSAT 16 has become a part of 10 Indian national satellite system. It became the part of the INSAT system. Next one, look at this. The INSAT system will provide the broadcast television programs. It provides educational and telemedicine services. It will carry telephone conversations and relay data. And this also meets the need of the DTH. You might have heard this word so many times. DTH. It stands for direct to home television channels. Okay, it stands for direct to home. Kindly remember this. The latest one in the INSAT system is the GSAT 16 that was launched very recently, and it was a successful launch. Okay, now I'm going to the next point. Most of you, my close friends, you may be aware of this particular question and you know the answer for this, I believe. Who of the following is considered to be the father of Indian space program? Homi Bhabha, Kasturi Rangan, Varghese Kurian, and Vikram Sarabhai. And you must be knowing the answer here. The answer is Vikram Sarabhai. He is considered to be the father for Indian space program. Right? Next one. We have a statement here. Look at this. This was a statement that was made by the deputy speaker in the Lok Sabha. And I was telling you some time back, in Lok Sabha, apart from the speaker, we also have somebody called the deputy speaker. And right now, the deputy speaker is Thambi Dorai. And this Thambi Dorai, he belongs to AIADMK party. And I told you a few points regarding this gentleman in the previous classes. But very recently, so he made a very serious comments. Of course, the members who are present in the Lok Sabha and the people who are present in the various assemblies and various legislative councils must think over these statements. Why? So when the tussle was going on, when a person in the Lok Sabha who belongs to Trinamool Congress was continuously speaking and he was disturbing the proceedings, then the deputy speaker made a comment saying that this is a parliament and not a West Bengal assembly. That is the comment he made. Meaning he was pointing out the West Bengal assembly where frequent pandemonium and ruckus will take place. Of course, it happens in most of the state legislatures. It also happens in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. We have seen so many times. But because this person belongs to Trinamool Congress, the deputy speaker was pointing towards West Bengal assembly. I'll show you that point and kindly think on these lines, please. Look at this. On 8th December 2014, the deputy speaker Thambi Dorai in the Lok Sabha said to Trinamool Congress MP, his name was Mr. Kalyan Banerjee, that this is parliament, not West Bengal assembly. Why did he say that? What is the importance of this statement? Kindly think on these lines. Mr. Kalyan Banerjee was disrupting the proceedings in the House. During that time, this is the statement made by the deputy speaker on the floor of the Lok Sabha. Look at this. Next point I have. By which of the following years, the presence of NATO, that is a North Atlantic Treaty Organization, troops becomes zero in Afghanistan? Very important point. Afghanistan is a place where we have the problems with the Taliban terrorists, and for quite long period of time, the NATO troops have been stationed, and they have decided slowly the troops are withdrawing. The troops are withdrawing from Afghanistan. But what happens is that At single point of time, all the troops don't withdraw. That will happen in regular intervals, so that if there is any problem, the problem has to be tackled out. At the same time, the NATO forces will also train the Afghan forces, Afghan military forces to fight against the terrorism. So this is what happened with respect to NATO and with respect to Afghanistan. But finally, because the conditions are getting settled and because the NATO is also providing training to Afghanistan military forces to combat terrorism, the NATO has decided to go away completely from Afghanistan. And now the question is, by which of the following years the presence of NATO troops becomes zero in Afghanistan? Answer will be 2016. Kindly remember this. And remember this very important point. At one single point of time, entire troops will not be withdrawn. It will be withdrawn in installments over a period of time. And final withdrawal is going to happen by 2016, provided by the time no major terrorism attacks should take place. If certain things will happen, the NATO may extend its presence in Afghanistan even beyond 2016. But as of now, it is going to be zeroed by 2016. Kindly remember this. Answer is option 3, that is the year 2016. Kindly remember all the points. Look at this. I'm talking to you something about Sri Lanka now. We have seen, you know what is the location of Sri Lanka. And I told you sometime back, excuse me, I told you sometime back that whenever we are discussing and whenever you are there with me, kindly have one India map and one world map beside you. And if you look at this map, you can find out the location of Sri Lanka, right? Kindly have a look at the map once. Yes. Now, and I told you why the map is important for us. Already I told you, let me not repeat that. Now, if you look at this Sri Lanka, in Sri Lanka today, it is a presidential form of government. And the term of the president, once elected, will be 6 years. But if you look at Sri Lanka today, the present president is Mahinda Rajapaksa. And if you look at Sri Lanka, there are so many issues that are happening. One of the important issues, the disturbances that are happening in the northern part of Sri Lanka, especially in the Jaffna region. So the Tamil origin people who are living over there, for quite a long period of time, there is a demand that that area should be separated, that area should be declared as a separate nation. But of course, Sri Lankan government is not accepting. But the present situation, of course, for a quite long period of time, there are so many atrocities that are taking place in this particular place against the common people. And slowly, if you look at the image of the present president of Sri Lanka, it is getting weeded out. Slowly, it is getting decreased. That's the reason why he decided let the election be conducted immediately. Now he completed just 4 years. Out of 6 years, he completed only 4 years. And now he called for the elections. In the first half of January, Sri Lanka is going for the elections. That is the reason why Sri Lanka is there in the news. Since it is one of the neighbors of India, this is important point. Number 2, this is also a part of SAARC group. All these points we know this. Now, let me show you the document. We'll have a discussion on Sri Lanka. Look at this. The island nation is going for the presidential polls on January 8th, 2015. Not even 1 month, it is going for these polls. Look at this. 19 candidates are contesting the election, including the present president Mahinda Rajapaksa. Look at this. Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa is running his second term and he still have 2 more years to go. But he called for early elections because of waning of popularity. His image is getting reduced. Why? We'll see why it is getting reduced. And kindly remember, this is one question which is being asked in various examinations. But even for the civil service main examination, if there is a question related to the relations between India and Sri Lanka, you need to mention the name of the president and also the name of the political party to which he belongs to. That's the reason why I gave it here. This gentleman, Mahinda Rajapaksa, the present president of Sri Lanka, belongs to a party called United People's Freedom Alliance. It stands. It is a. The abbreviation is this UPFA, United People's Freedom Alliance. But now, hopefully, you are following me. Now, let me talk to you regarding certain problems that are present here. With respect to this gentleman, the so-called the present president, he is facing certain problems, but we'll see. The northern Tamils, because of the concern over militarization, I told you already. So there's so much of military activities that are happening in the Jaffna region, that is the northern part of the Sri Lanka, where majority of the Tamil origin people are living. Hence, they are expressing a serious concern over the militarization, and this particular area is not happy with the ruling of Mahinda Rajapaksa. So, this is one area where Rajapaksa is facing the problem, and his strength may come down in this area. Number two, unfulfilled demand for substantive devolution of powers. What do you mean by this? When I am using the word devolution of the powers, so this is a mechanism how you will be giving certain powers to the other layers or the offices that are present below you. But unfortunately, this particular promise was not fulfilled by the present president. Hence, this is one more reason why his image has come down and why his voting share may come down. It may come down. That is the reason why, by expecting all these things, if he waits for 2 more years, his image may further come down. His vote share may further come down. That's the reason why he called for the early elections. Once he gets elected, from then, again he will be serving for another 6 years. Again, let me open the document once again. Look at this. Look at this. Muslims that are present in the Sri Lanka, they are also voicing concern over threats to the religious freedom. So this is also another issue. In every country, the people who belong to all the religions, they expect the religious freedom. But there are some countries where the religious freedom is not available. And when it comes to Sri Lanka, the Muslims are also voicing the concern over threats to the religious freedom. Look at this next one. This is another serious one. The places of Muslim worships are being attacked by Sinhala Buddhist groups. Obviously, it's a matter of another serious concern. For every religious group, their places of worship are important for them. If it is attacked by some other groups, obviously you are hurting the sentiments of that religious group. And when it comes to these attacks, Mahinda Rajapaksa government failed to protect these religious worships. Look at this. Next one is the shrinking democratic space. If I use the word democracy, the people's voice should be given the highest importance. But in Sri Lanka, the democratic space is getting shrunk. Clear? Next. Increase in the nepotism and corruption. What is the meaning of this nepotism and corruption? See, these are the very, very frequently used words in every administrative system, including India. Of course, now I am talking to you about Sri Lanka. But when it comes to nepotism and corruption, nepotism is nothing but doing certain favors. The people who are present in the government, will be doing the favors to their relatives and the known people. That is called the nepotism. When it comes to corruption, corruption is nothing but you are favoring somebody by accepting some gifts, maybe money, maybe other some other things in the form of kind. And this is increasing continuously in Sri Lanka. That's the reason why the people are not happy. Number one, there is a shrink in democratic space, and there is an increase in the nepotism and corruption in the administration. Kindly remember all the points here. Muslims are not happy because their religious freedom is under threat. Their worships are getting, their worshipping places are getting attacked by Simhala Buddhist groups. At the same time, the Tamil origin people who are living in the northern parts of Sri Lanka, they are also not happy because of the increase in the militarization. So many factors are there, so which is really fearing the present president, right? Whether he will be winning the election or not. Okay, and you might have seen very recently he visited India and he went to Tirupati also. So and he had the darshan of Lord Balaji. Look at this next one. The president is banking on the traditional vote in the south. So even today also, it is expected that he is very strong in the southern region and he is banking on that one. Of course, this is the area where he will be getting continuously the majority since beginning. But otherwise, the present president is facing so many problems. Okay, right. Next. Next, I have one more question for you. Kindly have a look at this. Which of the following country is going to be surpassed by India as the top producer of cotton? Of course, as of today, the highest producer of cotton is China. And China is going to deliberately reduce the output because of the demand is reducing. And India is going to surpass China. And for this question, the answer is China. Which of the following country is going to be surpassed by India as a top producer of cotton? As of today, it is China, and very soon India will become the top producer. Kindly remember this. Okay, next. I have some points related to this. Kindly have a look at this. Now, the government of India has eased the export rules for cotton and yarn. The exporting rules have been simplified by the government of India. So this is going to boost the overseas sales. At the same time, it has been slowed down in China. China, which is the top producer, the sales have been slowed down in China. But when it comes to India, the demand is increasing. Hence, the government has eased the export rules. This is going to boost the overseas sales. In this year, kindly remember, in this year, from October 1st, 2014, this is the current year, India is going to harvest a record 40 million bales of cotton. It is the highest and it is going to create a record for India. And because there is going to be huge production of cotton in India, obviously what will happen? The fear is that the prices are going to fall very sharply. Kindly remember very important point here. This is one of the very useful points with respect to economy. Whenever there is a huge production, if the production is huge, more goods are available in the market. Whenever more goods are available, the prices of those commodities will be reduced very sharply. When the prices of the commodities will reduce sharply, the purchasing power of the individuals will increase. With the less money that is available, we can purchase the more goods, pay less and purchase more. So this will happen with respect to increase the production. This is what is going to happen in India. 40 million bales are going to be produced and very, very huge. Definitely, the prices of the cotton will come down very drastically. At the same time, why don't we plan for exporting the same? Permit the farmers to export it. This is possible only by relaxing the rules. So, this is how the government has to think. This is how the government has to act. Look at this. Because it is going to create a record with the 40 million bales, the prices may fall very sharply. Look at this. China is considered to be the biggest buyer of Indian cotton, followed by Bangladesh and Pakistan, and started reducing the purchase. If you look at this next one, the CCI, the Cotton Corporation of India, which is a nodal agency for the government of India for procuring cotton at MSP. MSP stands for minimum support price. At present, the MSP for cotton is 4,050 rupees per quintal. Kindly remember this. So this is the, of course, we use so many words like market price or this MSP, minimum support price. So many things are going to come into our discussion over a period of time. When I talk to you about Indian economy, I will tell you the meaning of various words. Okay, but kindly remember, so the word MSP stands for minimum support price. Am I clear? Next, look at this next point here. Next question. Which of the following is the first country in the world to unveil world's first herbal Quran? Quran is a holy book for Muslims, considered to be the very, very sacred one. And very recently, Dubai has come out and it has unveiled the world's first herbal Quran. Answer is D. It is Dubai. Kindly remember this. Look at this. I have some more points regarding this. This holy Quran, it included 606 pages and the weight is 7.5 kgs. And if you look at this, no printing technology was used. That is the beauty of this. They have taken a very, very long time and they have prepared it. Get this next one. We have, which of the following bank has launched world's first Facebook based instant funds transfer platform called KPay? KAYPAY, KPay. Now, what is the meaning of this? Look at this. We have the fund transfer mechanism that will happen through the bank system. We have a fund transferring mechanism through internet or through mobile banking system. Of course, mobile is also using the internet. So we have various mechanisms. For the first time, a social media has been used for fund transferring. And that social media is Facebook. And very slowly, it is going to spread for various social media organizations again. But the question is that, which is the bank which started this particular KPay scheme? And if you look at ABCD, ICICI, State Bank of India, Axis Bank, and D, Kotak Mahindra. And kindly remember, the answer is D, that is Kotak Mahindra. And this is the bank that has launched the KPay, which is considered to be the world's first Facebook-based instant fund transfer. But the thing is that the person should be an account holder in the Facebook and the recipient should also be, meaning anybody who is transacting the money through the Facebook should be an account holder in the Facebook. The person who is giving the money and the recipient is also, both of them should be the Facebook account holders. And both must share their banking information with the Facebook. Of course, that will be kept very, very secretively. Lots of confidentiality will be maintained. And whenever you want to transfer the funds here, the person, if he activates his account, immediately he'll be receiving OTP. OTP stands for one-time password. And that OTP If it is used properly, the funds will be transferred. Of course, the technology is increasing amazingly. This is the latest one that has come into the picture. By using a social media, the funds are being transferred, and now it is the so-called the Facebook now. But kindly remember, the bank is Kotak Mahindra Bank. Okay, right. Now, answer is D, and we have some points. Kindly have a look at this. This system built on a mobile based immediate payment system. It stands for IMPS, mobile based immediate payment system. And kindly remember, next point, this particular system was launched by National Payment Corporation of India, NPCI. Okay, now I'm moving further. Another important point we have, recently, a few days back, the Prime Minister of India has launched the Jan Dhan Yojana. Under this Jan Dhan Yojana, this is a scheme where the Prime Minister wanted the banking services should reach all the population that is present in the country. So many benefits are there with this. We have discussed all the points during those classes. On the same lines of Jan Dhan Yojana, in India, very recently, Jan Bima Yojana has been started. So this is nothing but the life insurance. Jan Bima Yojana is the life insurance. So it has been started very recently, and the question is related to which organization has started this. But otherwise, see, when it comes to the life insurance here, this is a the rural penetration is very low. Rural penetration is very low. Hence, there is a necessity to create awareness among the people regarding the this Bhima Yojana, that is the life insurance. Now, if you look at the question now, which of the following agencies has launched a scheme called Jan Bima Yojana on the lines of Jan Dhan Yojana? Look at this: Life Insurance Corporation of India, General Insurance Corporation of India, Insurance Regulatory and Authority, I'm sorry, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, IRDA, and the last one is the Ministry of Finance. Kindly remember, the answer is option C, that is IRDA. Kindly remember this. IRDA is a regulatory and development authority for all the insurance schemes in India, and every insuring company will be coming under the clutches of this IRDA, just like Jan Dhan Yojana. Let us expect Jan Bima Yojana is also a great success. But for this question, the answer is option C, that is the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, IRDA. Okay, kindly remember this. Now, I'm still moving further. You must be knowing this. It is making a very good news in the entire world, rather. Which of the following day is announced as International Day of Yoga by the United Nations? See, here we have seen so many days that are being announced by the United Nations. If it is declared as an international day by the United Nations, so that particular day will be observed as that for that subject, and throughout the world, all the countries which are the members of the United Nations will try to promote the same concepts. Maybe literacy, maybe health, maybe this eradication of the poverty or anything. Similarly, now we got International Day of Yoga. In fact, this particular idea was mooted by the Prime Minister of India, and it has been successfully accepted by almost all the nations that are present in United Nations. The news is that 175 countries have accepted for this. This is the highest record. This is the record in the history of United Nations where a resolution that was introduced by one country has been accepted by so many countries in a large number. 175 countries have accepted for this, including the permanent five. Including the permanent five, 175 countries have accepted. Meaning the Prime Minister of India was successfully convinced the United Nations about the importance of this yoga. And yesterday, when it has been, the resolution has been moved by India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Mr. Ashok Kumar Mukherjee. He reiterated the words of the Prime Minister of India. It was a huge success, and the resolution, which was in fact the idea that was mooted just 3 months back, meaning less than 90 days. For the first time, it has been accepted within less than 90 days. Two important things. It is a record that so many countries have accepted for a resolution that was moved by one nation. In a record time of less than 90 days, it has been accepted. That's the reason why it is again there in the news. And the answer for this is June 21st. Kindly remember this. Look at this. Which of the following day is announced as International Day of Yoga by the United Nations? ABCD we have given. Answer is June 21st. Okay. Now, look at this. Kindly remember this. I have some points. You can just have a look at this. I'm just giving you this information. Look at this. This idea was proposed by the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi. The United Nations General Assembly adopted the same, recognizing that yoga provides a holistic approach to health and well-being. It was accepted by the so-called United Nations, and the resolution was introduced by Indian permanent representative to United Nations. Right now, it is Mr. Ashok Kumar Mukherjee, and it was supported by more than 170 countries. In fact, it was 175 countries. This is the highest support to any United Nations resolution. And it was also done in less than 90 days. This is a record. Right? These are the 2 points I am highlighting here. These are the 2 points I am highlighting. These 2 points are nothing but it's a record in the history of the United Nations. Highest support for any UN resolution, and it was accepted in less than 90 days. Next one. June 21st is the day with the most hours of daylight in the northern hemisphere and very less number of hours in the southern hemisphere. You must be knowing this, right? Now, look at this. Next, I have something called the GST. Let's see what exactly is the GST here. GST stands for Goods and Services Tax. What do you mean by this? When I'm talking about the Goods and Services Tax here, in India, because it is a federation, the Constitution has provided the tax system. Whenever I use the word tax, it is a compulsion, and the taxes are imposed by both the central government and also the state governments, so that they are generating the revenue, and that revenue will be utilized for the development. Next. And in India, whatever the taxes we have, these taxes have been divided into direct taxes and indirect taxes. Direct taxes are those taxes which we are paying directly to the government of India. There is no mediator between individual and the government. Example, income tax. Directly we are paying it to the government. And when it comes to the indirect taxes, there is a mediator between the people and the so-called the government. For example, here, everybody of you, rather everybody in the country, we are using mobile phones. We'll go to various restaurants. During that time, we'll see service tax will be charged. And that service tax, only one example I'm giving it to you. But when I talk to you about the constitution regarding the taxes, during that time, I'll explain you in a very detailed manner what are the various taxes available. Only to make you very clear regarding what is indirect tax, I'm just going to say something. Service tax is an example of indirect tax where if I'm a customer of a particular mobile service provider, I'm paying monthly rent to that provider. And because they are providing services, they will also charge a service tax. And whatever the amount that is being charged as per the rules of the government, instead of an individual, I'm paying it to the government, I'm paying it to my service providers. I'm not paying it to the government. I pay income tax to the government of India directly. Income tax is a direct tax. There is no mediator. But when it comes to service tax, I am paying it to the service provider, and that service provider, in return, he will be paying it to the government of India. And those taxes are called indirect taxes. Such a type of indirect taxes are present both at the central level and also at the state level. And whatever I am talking to you now regarding the GST, this GST stands for the indirect taxes. So the government, for a quite long period of time, since the time of the UPA government, they were mulling on the introducing the concept of GST so that the burden on the people will be reduced. That is the basic idea. And they are proposing this one every year. And of course, a constitutional amendment bill has also been prepared. But the central government is hesitant to discuss and vote because the states may not accept for this. Because this is one of the bills that should also be accepted by at least 50% of the states in the country. Because there is a fear, central government continuously it is pursuing the state governments to agree for this. It was being done for quite long period of time, and the previous government was not successful. But the latest government of India today, India government, the finance minister made it very, very clear in this winter session itself, this particular amendment bill will be introduced. But the state governments will have so many objections on these bills. Once you club all the indirect taxes here, definitely the share of the states are going to come down. Meaning the revenue that is being generated by the states will come down, but who will pay for the states? That's the point. The compensation has to be given by the central government. That's the reason why even today also there are three issues that are pending between the central government and the state governments. Central government cannot move ahead without the consent or the acceptance that is made by the so-called the states. At least 50% of the states must accept, but it is always advisable. It is always advisable to take all the states into confidence. That is the basic idea. I'll just show you the document. This is there on the cards. Now we'll see. Look at this. It stands for Goods and Services Tax. Kindly remember, this is the 112th Constitution Amendment Bill. This is pending for quite long period of time in the Parliament. If it is passed, then the GST will subsume all excise and service taxes. That all excise service taxes will be put together, and that will be called Goods and Services Tax, GST. But the stalemate is continuing on three major issues like compensation, Meaning, if the state government loses the revenue, who will provide the compensation? Number two, petrol tax. Number three, the entry tax. Remaining things you must be knowing. Let me tell you one point with respect to entry tax. If the vehicles are moving from one state to the other state, they are expected to pay the entry tax. Okay. Now, so this is bringing additional revenue to those states. Look at this. I have a question related to entry tax. In which of the following years the entry tax was introduced? The answer is 2000. Kindly remember this particular point. Since entry tax is there in the news, it's a possible question in the examination. Okay, answer is C. Kindly remember this. Now, I'll go to some other point. Another fantastic thing, this is happening. Which of the following institutions have signed a memorandum of understanding to study the plight of women? See, the plight of the women is not just the latest issue. For the times immemorial, this injustice is happening to the women. The plight is really very, very bad. Maybe for the women, maybe for the young girls or the kids. But there is a problem for this section of the society. And in the beginning of the class, also I told you what is happening to the security of the women. And another shame has been taken place in Delhi very recently. And of course, yesterday also it happened in Indira Gandhi International Airport. Now, when it comes to this particular question, so there is a quite long discussion that is being taking place in India. What are the various issues that are related to women and how to protect the rights of the women so that they will be coming, they can be pulled out of the clutches of this plight. That's a basic idea. So many institutions are working. Every time the government will always say that we'll be providing the protection, we'll be providing the security, we'll take care of all the people. But unfortunately, when it comes to the reality, it is not happening. Kindly look around what is happening in our society. That itself is the example of the plight of the women is still continued. Now, let me come back to the question now. Look at this. Which of the following institutions have signed a memorandum of understanding to study the plight of women? I gave you 4 institutions, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out of that we need to pick up 2. NHRC, National Human Rights Commission; NCW, National Commission for Women; ASCI, Administrative Staff College of India; and D, Ministry of Women and Child Welfare. Kindly remember this point. This is option B and C. That is National Commission for Women and Administrative Staff College of India. They have signed it. They have signed the memorandum of understanding. So they want to study the plight of the women. So wherever B and C is present, that is the answer. So option number 2 should be the answer. Okay. Kindly remember this. Since it is being discussed very frequently, there is every possibility there may be a question on this. And for the people who are preparing for the civil services, kindly think more. Why this particular understandings are coming into the picture? What is the necessity and how to strengthen and how to increase the mechanisms where the plight of the woman has to be reduced. Look at this. Answer is B and C. Can you remember? Now I'll just show you these points here. This study will be conducted in Odisha, Tripura, Punjab, Rajasthan, West Bengal, and Tamil Nadu. In these areas, in these states rather, the study will be conducted. And this study is going to help in understanding population dynamics and trends. Kindly remember this. For civil servant aspirants, these are the important points. Kindly remember. population dynamics and trends. Look at this. Next one, educational scenario. Next one, economic parameters, employment and workforce participation, and what is the status of the health and the nutrition, and overall, what is the quality of the life. Is it clear? This particular study is going to be conducted on these issues, and this one is going to be studied by National Commission for Women in association with Administrative Staff College of India, which is located in Hyderabad. Next, another one is there. Kindly have a look at this. So we have a traditional game that is called Kambala. This is a traditional slush track buffalo race in the state of. So this is there in a state called Karnataka. Kindly see here, previously, if you look at this in Tamil Nadu, so there was a game called Jallikattu, if you remember. That is nothing but bullfighting. And of course, it's a traditional game that was happening in Tamil Nadu. And this year, you might have seen, the Supreme Court also interfered and said certain points regarding this Jallikattu. Similarly, there is another issue that is related to Kambala, which is the traditional slush track buffalo race. Slush track in the sense, so this is the track with the mud where the buffaloes race is conducted. It's a traditional game, of course. So many people will come and watch, but the basic point is that. Is this not against? Is it not the cruelty against the animals? So many organizations have demanded that this particular game has to be stopped. And of course, the case is there before High Court of Karnataka. And within a short period of time, within the coming few days, the court is going to give a judgment, and we'll see what type of judgments will come up. So this is related to the number one is the tradition. It's a tradition that is happening for quite long period of time. Why can't it be continued further? Number one. Number two, so this should be considered as cruelty against animals. Hence, it should be stopped. Okay, kindly think on this, and we'll wait for the judgment to be given by the honorable court. Next one. But remember, Kambala is a traditional slush track buffalo race in the state of Karnataka. Look at this. Next point I have. You kindly think on these lines, please. Should Prabhu Chavan be suspended from BJP? Who is this Mr. Prabhu Chavan? Prabhu Chavan is an MLA in Karnataka Assembly. If you remember, this man was caught very recently in the assembly itself, and he was using his mobile, and he was looking at one of the important persons in India and the photograph. What this MLA is doing, and this one is he's also sharing with other MLAs. And fortunately, this was caught by the assembly camps. It became a bigger issue. Should these people be permitted to watch like this? Or should the entry of allowing these mobile phones into the legislatures should be banned? Kindly think on these lines. The Congress party MLAs, they have started demanding that action has to be taken against this MLA. These MLAs, MPs are expected to be the leaders of the people. And if they themselves are behaving so shamelessly, then what about the common people? They should become the role models. But unfortunately, these are the things that are happening. You might have seen previously also, some of the ministers, BJP ministers in Karnataka, they were caught while watching indecent movie, indecent pictures. And this is how the people in the legislatures are behaving. That's the reason why. So this man is there in the news. Think on these lines and kindly respond. Should Prabhu Chavan be suspended from BJP, or should he be disqualified as an MLA? Does banning cell phones in the legislatures will improve the morality of the representatives? First of all, they should know. They should know all these things here. This is not the place for them to teach the moral values. They should come from within. Without having these moral values, these people will still try to become the leaders of the people, leaders of the society, and they are getting elected. Next, look at this. Which of the following states a finance minister has been booked under a case of corruption? See here, this is a different case here again. In the beginning of the class, I spoke to you something about the one of the ministers in Mamata Banerjee's cabinet. He was Mr. Madan Mitra. But I am talking about some other state now. A case has been booked. And this person is Mr. K.M. Mani. And he is the finance minister for Kerala. In Kerala today, there is a coalition government. And Mr. K.M. Mani is considered to be one of the very important leaders in Kerala. And he is a part of the government. And the government is also being run because of his support also. And recently we have seen the Kerala government has decided to ban the liquor. During that time, so many recommendations will also take place to stop this ban. During that time, the allegation against the finance minister is that Mr. K.M. Mani, that he took rupees 1 crore as the bribe. And he promised them, the association, the hotel bar association people, that he will take every step for reopening the bars. And unfortunately, that could not happen. That's the reason why the allegation has come out. It's a good thing. It came out. And now the demand is very, of course, it's not just coming out. After the preliminary inquiry is over, so there is a prima facie evidence against this man. Hence, a case has been registered against him. Now, the opposition party is demanding that he should submit the resignation and step down. But this man is saying that he is an innocent. We don't know whether he is really innocent or not. But the political propriety of this gentleman, the political propriety demands that Mr. K.M. Mani should submit the resignation letter. He should submit the resignation letter. He should step down. He should step aside so that the investigation will take place very smoothly without any influence. Otherwise, if he still holds the power and if he wants the investigation to be done against him when he is there in the power, definitely that is going to scuttle. It is going to scuttle all the evidences. That's the reason why the people in Kerala, the opposition parties in Kerala, of course, demanding that he should submit the resignation letter. Hopefully, he should submit the resignation letter and he should bend his head before the law and he should permit for the proper investigation has to be conducted and the truth should come out. If he comes out like a Mr. Clean, again he is welcome back. But otherwise, just like any other person, he should also be punished. This is what India demands. Whether you are a minister or a common man, punishment should be alike and the law should take its own course of action and nobody is above the law. Okay. Now look at this. I'll just show you the statement. Now look at this. Which of the following states finance minister has been booked under a case of corruption? Answer is C, that is Kerala, that is Mr. K.M. Mani. Okay. Now look at this. This is Mr. K.M. Mani. The case was booked by Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau. And the allegation is that he accepted rupees 1 crore as bribe from Kerala Bar Hotels Association for help in reopening of the bars in the state. Now I want you to think immediately. Think. You have to think. Without thinking, the analysis will not be increased. My dear close friends, since you are aspiring for the highest service in the country, you have to think, you have to analyze, you have to put yourself on the paper, and you have to go for complete retrospection and complete analysis of your answer again and again. But this man is expressing his innocence, but the political propriety demands that he should step down and not give room for any suspicion that he could misuse his office to scuttle the investigation. This is what is the demand. Next one, you must be knowing this. Who of the following Nobel Peace Prize laureate aspires to become the Prime Minister of his country? Recently, we have seen for the year 2014, these are the two people, one from India, second one from Pakistan, Kailash Satyarthi, followed by Malala Yousafzai. These two have shared the Nobel Peace Prize. It was a fantastic moment for India and Pakistan. It's a very, very good thing. But now the question is related to, out of these two, who is aspiring to become the Prime Minister of the nation? Answer is Malala Yousafzai. She made it very, very clear. Maybe within coming 20 years, she can become the Prime Minister of Pakistan and the people will be voting for her. So she is a fantastic person and we wish her all the very, very best. Okay. Now look at this next one. We have one more point, one more question related to this. Just a moment. Yeah. Now have a look at this. This is a prize that is called Confucius Peace Prize. This is, of course, it was started in the year 2010 in China. This is considered to be China's version of a Nobel Peace Prize. Now the question, look at this. Who of the following has been, I think it's repeated, right? 1 second, let me remove this. Has been awarded Confucius Peace Prize, which is considered to be the China's version of a Nobel Peace Prize. Ban Ki-moon, no. Park Geun-hye, he belongs to Korea, and Fidel Castro is the leader of Cuba. D is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It's an institution, but answer is option C, Fidel Castro. Okay, kindly remember this. China's government will say that we don't have anything to do with this prize, but even the Communist Party is also involved in this one. So, but kindly remember, it may be a question for us in any examination. Okay, now, so that's the end of the day today, and I'll be stopping here. And with respect to the current affairs, we'll be meeting again on Monday at the same time, 9 o'clock. Till then, I wish you all the very, very best. But tomorrow, again, we have Indian polity class as usual at 5 o'clock in the morning. We'll be meeting. Till then, I wish you all the very, very best. Have a very good night. Thank you so much for being with me this evening. See you tomorrow. Thank you.